I was traveling around the world. I started Latin America, Costa Rica, Colombia, Brazil, and then something called me like to the other side.
How those people without office, they focus like she's working digital. We are in car, she's like what?
And it's actually that, when you're super straight, it's easier to be broken. Last night, I was like crying in bed because I was telling him how frustrated I feel that our passports are even really opposite.
Yeah.
To travel,
Wow.
we always have that risk that one can be inside the country and then for the other one, migration can say like,
From your culture, it's like bringing the moment and kind of like fixing it immediately. So I guess that Bekir had to jump into that as well. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Podcast, a podcast where you get to learn and meet a lot of entrepreneurs, content creators from around the globe. What we are doing here is basically to inspire you and to put you on this journey with us. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce my lovely guests for today. It's Laura and Bekir. They're like content creators, podcasters, and nomads. It's a new term that we're going to learn more about this time. And one of the good things that I want to direct to you guys is basically for this time, I would like to invite you to our beautiful community where you get to meet a lot of these people, a lot of beautiful, amazing, and inspiring entrepreneurs around the world. So without forgetting that this podcast is sponsored by Podcast Inc., your support partner along your podcasting journey. Make sure to check us out. I'm going to leave all the links down in the description. And without any further ado, let's get to it. Hi, Laura and Bekir. How are you guys?
hi, Sarah, thank you so much for having us here. I'm really fine today.
I'm happy that you guys jumped into this episode with me simply because I really loved what you guys are doing. And I know that you're in the journey of like nomading. So I would love to know more. And how does it start? How does it feel to be a nomad?
Well, it started with her actually. I was in Turkey that before jump into that journey. So she's the one who took me in this world, digital nomading.
Wow.
So let's start with her.
Okay, so magic there.
I think actually I will explain how I was before a digital nomad, and then I would say actually the opposite. I think we both turn each other into nomads.
Okay.
I would say that if I became a nomad, it's thanks to him, and he would say that if he became one, it's thanks to me. So what I started doing is I was already a digital nomad for like 3 years.
Okay.
I was traveling around the world. I started Latin America, Costa Rica, Colombia, Brazil, and then something called me like to the other side. So I started discovering Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, Egypt, but I was really like stopped in Turkey. And I remember even telling my mom, like, there's something calling me in Turkey.
Me,
This is the call.
the strong call. Hey, Laura, come here.
What happened is suddenly I was in Istanbul actually, and I just said, okay, I'm gonna go just for one weekend to Antalya. And after that weekend, I needed to cancel just 5 tickets that I had already booked because I met him and I was like, okay, this is gonna work, so let's try it. So
Yeah. So basically, even you're not like a digital nomad.
No,
Living
I
like
like my home. I like my country.
he was the opposite.
How you jumped into this bridge?
Well, I try. So first I stop her to be digital nomad. So she jumped on my side,
Okay.
like settle down and like get to know city. So she tried her best and then all the way bring us to be digital nomad because to be digital nomad and to work remote give you a lot of flexibility. So which is, I like it because she was working online and she's with me, like we spend time together. I get to see potential of working remote. So that like just shocked me. Wait, like you spend your time with your people and then still you are the place you want. Like I was like, it looks tasty. So yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you're like on a speed. You're, going faster. You met him and you started the term of like nomad.
I think it's just like a hit. Even my friends, they used to make this joke. They used to call me 1.5x. You know, like when you listen to a podcast, I'm always like, I cannot listen to them in 1x.
Yeah.
It's always like 1.5 or sometimes even 2x. So I was like really fast. I was even changing city every 2 weeks.
Wow.
Probably. So I didn't spend a lot of time. So I was like, okay, 1 month here, and then I moved to another country in another month. So I was trying to like craving for the world, like eating it, you know, like when you love it. And then when I met him, it's like just the contrast. And I'm like, okay, let's settle down. And we try actually 6 months in Antalya and then 6 months in Istanbul. And then it's like, you know what? I cannot hold it. Like, I mean, even in costumes. So I think what we actually found that we even talk a lot is like that sweet spot.
Yeah.
And the sweet spot is, we call it slow nomading, that is actually slow nomads.
Yeah.
And it's a term that is not that famous yet. So I found that even my speed, it was not the healthiest one.
Yeah.
It was so fast, I was not even enjoying. So right now that we're becoming slow nomads, we're even like making more friends, like with you, you know, we get to meet people more than one time. It's like, hi, and then goodbye. So
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And then at the same time, it's like more of like being on that speed, being on that boat all the time and facing the stress and kind of like being able to deal with it all the time. And then meeting a place where, I don't have to kind of like be on that. I don't have to, like, you know. But for Bekir, it was like different. So it was like a new journey for him to kind of like learn more from, you know, the digital nomad and type of path. And I know for you, it was like meeting another person from like a different place that you're not used to. How was it? How do you guys connect it?
So how we connect, that's like how we met actually. So actually in my style, that for me it was like easy to settle down because you don't make luggage. You don't like say goodbye. For me it was like always in same place, and you don't say goodbye to people. You don't have to make luggage all the time. But this lifestyle, always like the clothes outside, and like, you know, it's not in one place, like always ready to like make your luggage and then boom. So you just move. I just slowly like get to know about this lifestyle. It's been like around 5 months, which I like it. So we are not too fast, like 1 week, 2 weeks. We are around like staying in one place 1 month, which is like close to my lifestyle, which I like. So for her, the 1 year, I think it was the longest 1 year, like settle down.
Yeah, okay.
It was really hard. Like even when it was not my country, for me, like staying so long, I felt that it was not like my thing. So actually that's why we like talking more about this, because we literally have both sides of the coin. I was digital nomad, like speed, you know, like moving fast, discovering the world. And then it's like, okay, slowing down. And then for him, it's like from a settler perspective, he turned into that. So it's a good sweet spot for both sides. Nomads that they don't want to be like all the time in parties, you know, like speeding. It's like you want to make community, because also I think we need to say the bad things about being digital nomad, that you feel really lonely. As he said, like you're packing all the time. It feels like you cannot occupy your space.
You're ready all the time. Like if there's a flight in like 6 hours, we're ready. We're ready to board.
There's a lot of cortisol in the digital nomad life. Just as there's adrenaline, I think it's even like same amount. So yeah, we like this new concept that is not a lot outside. And I think it's going to take more experience and more importance in the future, because with hybrid work, with people wanting also to put more roots, make impact in the local communities, and other like settlers that also want to be traveling. So this could be a good like middle point in which we all get to meet, and then you get this kind of relationships. They actually work.
It's lovely. It's lovely actually, and I love it. I love how both of you kind of like contribute to complete the gaps for each you know spot that you guys have. And I love that you guys are just, you know, open about it, that we spoke about it. I like from a mental perspective, from like a relationship perspective, communication is like one of the keys, right? So so let's talk more about that, because I know like when it comes up to digital nomads, it's more like I cannot give a right decision right now. Like I'm not going to be able to give like a right timing, because I don't know for how long I'm going to stay here. I don't know for how many hours I'm going to spend here. I'm just living the moment. For someone like Bekir, like sitting there, enjoying your coffee, meeting Laura, and she's like 1x.
Yeah.
How was it? Like, how was the communication? Was it easy for both of you to kind of like just link up from that side, or it took a while to kind of like just, you know, be on that flow?
For me, it took like a few months to know that lifestyle. Always people who work from taxi, from cafe, I was like, how those people without office, they focus like the first days, you know, we date. She's working digital. We are in car. She's like, what? How you focus? Like, what you do? Like, really? You do something, or you are just typing like, you know, look like I'm working.
Yeah, I'm busy.
Yeah, for me, it was like shock. Still, like in like last month, I get to know why that like small amount of time is important in taxi, in restaurant, before your order, 10 minutes, 20 minutes is really important to finish one task or one thing. So right now I understand why that few minutes is important. But before I was like, wait, what she's doing? Like, okay, like you are working, like you are doing, like I was like, I had no idea, like actually like how that thing worked. Because for me, that I have my office in Antalya. Actually, I have my business. You know, for me, like desk, office, sit down. I have my time to eat. I have my time to coffee. Like more, you
know about this.
Yeah.
I open my shop, and you know, like people who work there, they come.
Yeah.
Welcome, you know, like face to face. You know, you do your calls, everything. That's like office lifestyle. That routine for me like was okay. You know, I like it. But to turn nomad lifestyle in the taxi, in the cafe, I was like, okay, so I will get to know more about.
We spend more money on data more than anyone.
Yeah.
I
have so far like 10 SIM cards.
Exactly. So from here, you get to understand a lot of perspectives. But now you jumped into that road, right? So now like you're a digital nomad. So what are you doing currently?
I am doing content creation. And I am doing my podcast too. So we are basically doing same thing, but in different language, of course. So I'm helping influencers how to grow their account about strategically. So basically social media, content creation, and podcast, video edit, and like about voice quality. I'm working on that kind of things.
Yeah, I love it. So for you, Laura, it's pretty much the same thing of like content creation and stuff. But there's something beautiful I love, which is like doing extra stuff, like engaging with locals and kind of like being there and tasting what it's like to be in that country. Tell me more about that.
I think it's a bit of mix with volunteering at the same time that we travel. So I come from Mexico City, where literally the prices skyrocketed because of how many people were traveling. And I feel that by itself, just traveling or tourists are not bad. It's just more the focus. Like if we can keep doing the same. We can keep being tourists and going to certain activities and moving around the world. But if we do it more mindfully and we do it with specific people, I think it could have, instead of having like this news or, because of tourists, this thing is bad now. It could be thanks to tourists or thanks to expats or people moving around the world. This is even better. You know? So what I've tried to do so far, and actually, it happened even in Turkey. Before meeting him, I already knew some Turkish because for me, that stuff is super important. Certain details that the place you go to, instead of making the community adapt to the tourist, how you can make the tourist actually jump inside the community. You will feel the culture, you will feel the warmth. And I think that's also what made me try to look more for local communities. That it's as coming from a Latin country where everyone is like so warm, you know, like I miss the parties, like 40 people. I got to live it. My mom has 11 siblings. So the first meeting that we had, you know, she will think like, oh, no. They met him and like the full family. So it was a big thing. And she was like, why invited so many people? And I was like, it's just my mom's side, you know? So I think I miss that like warmth, that feel like home. So instead of just like saying, okay, you know what, I will settle down because I miss this kind of stuff. How in the same way, in the same journey, we can find this actually make a good impact on communities. People also love hearing you saying 3 words. Now I even learned how to say like good night in Thai. You know, sometimes people are just expecting the hi and goodbye, thank you. And then when I say, they're like, wow. And it's just like one Google Translate away. So I feel that these kind of situations, once we start putting both the slow math and the like local community impact, and we can start making amazing stuff without having to settle down in some place.
Yes.
It's always good thing.
Yeah.
To keep traveling.
I agree. And basically, while you're traveling, you're also doing the work now. You're making a living out of it. Can you tell us more about like the challenges that you went through?
For me, it's time zone because if the customer...
You're not a night owl, or how is it?
Like it's 4 hour.
Okay.
I'm working with Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Still, when it's like nighttime in Turkey, around like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Here, it's time to sleep. So we need to be like there for customer, reply, and like everything goes well, so I can go sleep.
Yeah.
So the time difference is like the hardest things for me when I am working with customer. But otherwise, it's really like pretty chill lifestyle. I like it, and I will go for something. I mean, she make me.
I'm happy for you guys. And what about you?
Going a bit back to the part of you were saying about communication, I feel that that's why I love podcasts. Like I fell in love with podcasts before creating my own. And actually I made him like, why you don't open a podcast? Because he loves talking.
Oh my God, that's
like,
even better.
You could be doing it, And he was like, not sure. And now he has like his podcast is even like sponsored, grew way more than mine. And I was like, who would have said that? But I feel that podcast or just talking allows us ourselves to even get to know ourselves. And I feel that's one of the biggest challenges that we have faced. So we came from fully different worlds, different cultures. Even like backgrounds, like so many things were so different that the way to actually find the middle point was through communication.
Yeah.
And we literally translated like 3 times from Spanish to English, from English into Turkish. And then it's like a lot of things get just mixed. Many of our arguments have been because we just misunderstand each other.
Yeah.
So how the communication has allowed us to find this way is just like allowing ourselves to put our voice and recognize the importance of stuff that we get to share. That even when it looks minimal, it's like sometimes if you speak yourself out, you can be getting to know the other person a lot.
Yes.
And we found this literally.
Oh, that's lovely.
Like, I didn't know about that. So I feel that that's one of the biggest challenges that sometimes is like, do you want? Yeah, no? Maybe these kind of things you don't find a lot, or you don't get to ask these questions a lot when you're both like settlers and they saying doing the same thing every day.
Same background, the same culture. So you don't face a lot of challenges. You may like say a word and the other person will get it. But for you and him, it's like completely different. Like there is Turkish, there is Mexican. So.
And both of them like hot blood, the countries like we like drama.
Exactly.
Why Mexican soap operas and Turkish soap operas are super famous. And every time we argue, it's like, this is why.
What?
We're so ready like to have arguments.
Yeah. The thing is like our first language is not English, so my emotion come from Turkish way, I feel Turkish, so whenever we have anything that we cannot solve in English, I go, wait, let me think in Turkish.
Yeah.
Let me write down in Turkish, and then I find out to translate that, how to like give you with the right words, so we can find middle point. We did like many times like that.
Wow.
I think even that's one way of also how slowing down is good.
Oh yeah.
For me, slowing down was like something super bad.
Yeah.
This part of productivity of optimizing, because I'm also an optimizer.
Yeah.
Like as a project manager, what I get to do is like with which tools, AI, we can get to optimize one process that is already there.
Yeah.
So even when I'm not doing like consultancy external with the companies that I have worked with, it's like, okay, if we do this journey already, how we can make it better, how we can save more, you do more with less time. So for me, slowing down was like, I'm failing,
Yeah.
Even when we have to argue, that takes us like 2 arguments or the time of 2 arguments, because it's like, okay, let me write it down and then we translate. So by the time we talk, we're already kind of like even more calmed down, So
it even becomes like more laughing moment of like, okay, what are we doing right here?
In that moment when you're already explaining, it's like, do you want to just not fight anymore? And it's like, okay.
You want to eat something?
Let's really fast. So
I love it. It's a really an easy way to kind of like jump from like conflict type of situation to like, I'm tired of this. Let's just go eat and do something else. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, this is really lovely that you get to experience this type of thing. And I guess it's from like jumping from your masculine energy into feminine energy, simply because you were like, I got this, I can do this by myself, and blah, blah, blah, toward like, okay, this is lovely actually to have someone with me during this journey and actually getting them into it or see how we can connect at a certain level. So I guess like from becoming from like a night owl to shifting into like a lifestyle where you get to do the work and still enjoy with your partner and go see places and do this. So how is it? Tell me more about that.
So if you touch one thing that is like super deep, that is the masculine energy, that I actually got to know more about that not that long ago. But this part of being super productive, you know, getting to do many things at the same time, traveling alone, it is something that for me was even like comfortable. I love being on my own. I was traveling. I was like self-sustaining myself for so long that at a certain point I was like being present. Accepting someone as my partner, you know, to travel together, kind of like having to share things, having to share responsibilities, decisions. It was like, this is it.
Trusting another person with it.
And I think that we don't get to talk a lot about that. So by being more vulnerable here, it seems that sometimes it's brave to start doing stuff, but it also takes a lot of time to stop doing stuff and delegating and sharing and letting the other person just like drive. And I think I told him the other day, like he's the one who drives here the motorcycle, and for me it's like I'm accustomed to be the one.
That.
It's I think and I have made that reference a lot, that movement by itself, moving your body in this way of traveling also makes you move a lot of what you think here.
True.
Like that's it. Movement provokes more movement, provokes change, provokes you to be like facing so many people out there with so many backgrounds and so many different things that it's like you cannot just come and say like I am like this and I'm like square like this and I can change this is my head. The world outside like just hits you. It's like, oh, are you so like straight?
Let me show you.
And it's actually that, you know, when you're super straight, it's easier to be broken instead of when it's even like flexible material. So I feel that's the thing that is really challenging so far. But we keep learning.
So you get that feeling of like, oh, I want to take a lead on that, but at the same time, oh no, I don't want to let him handle it. I can trust that. I've been into some hikes, and basically when I go on hikes, sometimes people will be like generous of like allowing me to go first, like as a gentleman or something. They would be like, okay, go first. My brain actually works in a way that if someone lets me like go and be the first, I'm just gonna be the leader, so I'm gonna act like one. So I learned that about myself. It's like an insane. So I learned this about myself, like when I'm doing something for fun, I'd like to be more into the group. I'm not gonna be the first, I'm not gonna be the last, I'm just gonna be in the middle of it, because this is gonna trigger my old behavior, which is leading. So I'm just gonna be in my masculine energy while I don't want to be on that. I'm in my feminine energy.
We're gonna need like 3 more podcasts about it.
So I get it. I get it for you. It's more like, am I gonna allow this person to really drive this? What am I expecting, you know? So it's like a lot of expectations, I guess, out of that is putting on his way and your way as well. So for you, Bekir, how was it from like jumping from like just chilly lifestyle toward like, okay, I met this beautiful lady. I'm going to do what it takes to kind of like be with her. How was it? I know like you had to break certain, you know, rules, certain, you know, backgrounds, cultures, ideas, and jump into that train.
For me, first, like you are going the area that you have no idea. So I have like some digital experience, but she's the professional, she's the master on that area. So if we settle down, I am people person. So I connect with people like too fast, but to do everything digital, I was like, oh, you know, like the train ride you, I was like, oh, you know, like first month, I was like, okay. So even like we have conversations, sometimes she's telling me like, this is the person who don't know about Google Meeting. I swear.
Oh my God.
I had no idea about like like joining meeting, like sharing screen. So because I had no practice.
Yeah.
So she's like, now she's like seeing the project I am in and the things I am doing. She's like, this is the person that has no idea about Google Meet or like anything about like meeting. So it's about time. And for me, it was really hard to jump into this lifestyle because it needs like learning curve a lot.
Yeah.
So it took me like few months, but nothing is impossible. So you just go inside but the thing is for me, like why I'm doing this, because we want that life for us, because it has emotional background for me. So I didn't spend that much time with my dad. So I didn't want same thing happen for my family, my kid. I was like, no, I will break that pattern. I will have a lot of time with my kid. So that was also like one reason of like that I jump. So sometimes, you know, you are inside one situation, you are like, no, that's too much, you know, like I'm going. So I didn't do that because of the reason I have. So that was my motivation, and still is it, because, you know, what's the other side? Settle down and doing things like going 9 to 5 work and spend all your time for 1 year to have 15 days like holiday vacation, and I'm like, no, I don't want that. So what I want, I want the other side. It's hard, but it's possible, which we are doing now.
Yeah, they say if you want to go far, you go together. So I guess this is what fits both of you guys. So you guys want to go far, so that's why you guys are together. But at this same time, I love that you guys have a podcast and you share a lot of experience there. So how did you get like this idea of like, oh, I want to start this podcast and I want to share what I feel about this country or what I'm at or what I did here and that. So how did you get into this point of like realizing, oh, I gotta jump into this?
I love how this is going like supernatural, but literally you're like connecting. Like if you know something about us, or at least about me, you have the right question. Well, for me, actually, that same thing. I think I'm really a person that is really masculine energy. Yeah. Actually, they say always the first kid, especially if it's a girl, she will have masculine energy because we're looking for the approval of the parent, of the dad. So, and also the society, they love people that they have masculine energy, that they're doers, you know. So I was kind of like craving for this connection with my feminine side at the same time with other women, because I felt that all this time it's more about like competing with each other. We just see each other on the other side, we criticize, we hate, and I'm like, I don't want to be part of that. I want to start like healing the lineage. So while I was traveling, I met a lot of women, and it's like, wow, we have the same story, or we're so similar. Like you and I right now, like if they put me in the beginning, for me, my brain is like switch and you're the leader, go. It's like how we were raised in a different culture, different country, and we have so many things in common. I wanted to share that. So actually my podcast is called Wild Women Worldwide. So it was like just women around the world sharing their story of how they broke like this pattern that they told us, and they just get to do something different. This like wild experience or souls that they're just like around the world doing their own stuff. So from there I said like, okay, let me put a podcast. Then later I came with a lot of other mini ideas. So I didn't continue a lot, but
the podcast one. The podcast was the one place where you committed.
The first one.
I love it. I love it so much. And basically, like, even when you're sharing your experience and when you're talking about this, you make a lot of women and even men listening to this will know, like, oh, if I do this, I'm going to trigger that, you know? So I'm going to avoid doing this, or I'm going to communicate to her more so we can just jump on that. So do you agree on this, Bekir? Like, you spy on her podcast and be like, okay, this is how she feels?
Actually, I have like a lot of information from her podcast, because you listen like, you know, like 30 minutes, 1 hour. You know, I just catch, okay, let's don't do this. Let's don't do this. Like, you know.
It's like it's for women, but it's actually for men.
Hey guys, be careful. If you want to like have information, that kind of podcast is really good, because you know what needs to trigger them. You know, they open themselves, and then, you know, they said, this is hurt me, or this is like trigger me. So which is her podcast specifically helped me. My podcast that I start because of she pushed me to do, because I was like, okay, let's do something, and like on social media, share things.
Yeah.
And she's like, why are you not doing podcasts? I was like, it's really good idea.
Yeah.
So literally, like, she's not doing too fast, like monthly one episode, but now I start do my podcast about personal improvement and how to gain money online on that kind of the personal improvement thing. So I start so fast, I find like sponsorship. So
Yeah.
I share like a lot information with my guests also. So yeah, basically my podcast about that. So
What is the name of your podcast?
in Turkish, I'm doing it in Turkish language, but how to gain money online.
You can say it in Turkish. I just want to hear it in Turkish.
İnternetten para kazanmak.
So while traveling and making a living out of that, like, is there any moment where you felt like, oh God, we lost this, we lost that? We still have each other though, but we lost this, we lost that. What are we supposed to do,
I think I've made the kind of like the analogy that being a traveler, being a nomad, is like having a life so many times, like you get to learn these kind of like life lessons so much and so often that it's like you need to value each hug because you don't know when the next hug is going to happen. Because you move,
You've been grateful.
You're grateful.
Yeah.
You get to enjoy every meal. You cannot take anything for granted.
Yeah.
You get to be more even creative, like, oh, if one obstacle faces me, it's like, I need to just like get bigger than that. So for me, I feel that it's not that I'm accustomed, but probably my pain threshold is already like too high because I already know like there are going to be a lot of things like going wrong because you're outside, but not because you're settler. It means that everything is going to be solved. So I feel that it's just like, you just hold yourself and then we get to face that many times, both with our relationship, with stuff, and actually being from different countries. It's just like, even like fully vulnerable. Last night, I was like crying in bed because I was telling him how frustrated I feel that our passports are even really opposite. To travel, we always have that risk that one can be inside the country and then for the other one, migration can say like, nope. So it limits us a lot. I think also makes us
stronger. I love it because you guys are like, you guys are like just doing the best that you can to be with each other and trying all the possibilities and being present. That's the word. It's like being present for each other all the time, and no matter what, it's like, okay, I lost this is going wrong, but we still have each other, which is really, really lovely. And it helps you kind of like go even for more, and as you said, like becoming more creative and stuff. So on this journey, I guess it's more like him jumping into it and learning more about it, you still in the process and still learning more about it, and him realizing that it's actually a process, and it's not that we all are experts, but it's more like she's ongoing, like learning and on process all the time. Is that true?
To be digital nomad, she saved location, like
Memorize.
more practice about location, like she's like more like she's like mapping everything. So I was like really shocked about how she saved the location and everything. So second time.
She's low-key a spy. You don't know it yet.
Even one time I told him like, I knew which gym you were going, and he was like, oh my God. No, he told me like way long ago, but he forgot he told me. I feel like,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, it's common. I don't know if you did it before meeting Bekir, but for me, when I was traveling, I had like a group of girlfriends where I just text them my location in case something happened to me. I mean, like a group of people will like attack that company of like drivers. They just don't know it yet.
I think it's just, as you were saying, I'm not sure which one is harder. Probably I would say, no, my side is harder than his. But just like maybe him jumping into this, for me also slowing down has been super hard. Even because sometimes, as you mentioned, like, oh, I already have, or you and I, we already have like these skills like developed. So like, oh, it's normal, Even my brain is like, oh, we're doing everything that we were already doing. Let's just say something that the brain already remembers. Actually, there's one rule that they say it takes you 20% of the time to do 80% of the task. So once you pass that line, you're already like having it comes again. But later also like delegating that
to him
is sometimes like, but I will do it, So it's kind of like the mix of stuff that even I feel that for any type of people, whether they travel or not, this is really good even for relationships. I feel that traveling has made arguments like 3 times harder, but sometimes like has a lot of those too.
It's like a recap. Yeah.
More speed, more intensity, but same time like more learnings. Actually,
Yeah.
we haven't been together not even 2 years, and we sometimes feel that we don't know. We know each other for how many? Like
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I know her for so long because when we met, that was a trick. No, really, like you met one person and you feel like you know that person. I'm not the first one who feel that, but when I met with her, I tell her like I know you.
Yeah.
So that was a trick.
no, like,
Yeah.
that's creepy. Now you're the creepy one.
Yeah, but it's lovely. Like, I know that you will get frustrated because you delegated the plan or you delegate the place to him. Him already like into that la la land of like, okay, we're gonna go, we're gonna ask people, but you're not used to that. So I understand the type of conflicts, but it's just basically because that triggered what you already were doing before, which is like planning everything. You know everything about, even if I told you like, you have a flight in 2 hours, you're already packed, you're ready to go. But him probably during that time, it was mostly like, I need to pack.
He didn't even pack. Like he always has something else to do. Like, oh, but you can pack. And I'm like, are you
Sure.
again avoiding this? And she's like, no, I'm just covering the other task. And I'm like,
She's doing really good back by her.
that's right, always. Like saying, but you're doing so good. That's
Yeah.
how he passes to me again.
Yeah.
Okay, my pack is like not the best pack because
He wears this 5 days.
Yeah.
so if I do pack, the T-shirt will be this size.
Yeah.
But if she do, it will be this size.
Yeah.
Which is like,
It's a life hack.
yeah. So I respect her like talent. The skill is like really good.
Yeah.
So whenever she do that like packing, I do something else. We just share.
See, it's helpful, Laura. I'm just going to be on his side of this. It's helpful. He's going to do something else.
Here. Probably, and I feel that's also something that has helped us, just accepting when the other person is better at something. That it's just sometimes for me, it takes me so much effort in this part of, we like not controlling, but having responsibility because it's like, okay, I can commit to this, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel that there's a lot of, and we don't get to talk a lot about this. Actually, I was searching about podcasts of
Yeah.
these. Women that have masculine energy, it's not that we're just like, you know?
Yeah.
That's a misconception. It's more, and they even call it, for example, in Asia, the yin and the yang energy.
Yes.
So the yang also has a lot of benefits that we cannot just like turn it off. And I have told him like even my yang energy and his yin energy benefit us a lot. But how we can like compensate a bit to find a better balance.
Yeah.
And then from there just like find even better versions of ourselves that we never considered before.
Yeah. Yeah. It's lovely, you know, and it's definitely going to provide you with a space where you can just sit down, talk to him and be like, I don't need solutions. I need a space to vent. I don't need you to give me any solutions. I know the solutions. Let me talk. So he's going to definitely understand that and be like, okay, I'm here. Oh, spill the tea.
Yeah.
Let's just do that. Have you been through these type of moments together? Like, okay, I just need you to hold space for me. I don't need you to give me solutions at this point.
Oof. I think just as we say, I think you have heard maybe about the 5 languages of love. That is like gifts, words of affection,
Acts of service, and
I felt that also we talked about the 5 languages. That for some people, it's just like, for him, for example, it's more convenient just to like separate and then just make things like cool down and then having distance and then we come back and we fix things. For me, it's the opposite.
Really good.
No. For me, it's the opposite. Like, if you
talk.
want to fix things in that moment, for me, it looks like, oh, for you, it's not important. So
Yeah.
by the time, like, 3 hours later, when he comes to me, instead of having things like chill, for him, it's way cooler. For me, it's like, I'm 3 times angry.
Yeah.
And
you're Latina as well, so add on that degree.
exactly. So I feel that this kind of stuff is, again, based on communication.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's, and there was actually one situation that happened to us. I don't like, like the yellow cheese in hamburgers. And there was one time when he cooked and he put 2 slices of yellow cheese. And I was like,
You have 3 yellow cheese. So I was like, oh, I love her. Like, love.
I'm spoiling you with it.
let me give you the best. Let me give you 2 and I will take 1. And for me, it was like, actually, I never put, that's why there were 3, because they always come like in pairs. And
Yeah.
if actually there's one extra, it's because for mine, I never put, so it's kind of like, we use this analogy a lot because it's literally our own experience.
Yeah.
That sometimes the love you give to the other person doesn't get like accepted or translated exactly as that person would like to.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make any of you both like bad. There's also another analogy. I'm not sure if when you were a kid, you went to the cinema. That one was like 3D.
Mm-hmm.
So there were like these glasses. One is blue, the other one is red.
Yeah.
So what happens is sometimes he's talking from his blue vision and me from my red. And he's like, no, but it's like this. I see a dog. And he's like, I see a cat. And he's like, no, what do you mean? It's dog. So instead of just like denying the other person, he's like, okay, pass me a bit of yours and then a piece. And then when we mix both sides, blue and red, we get to see even stuff that we would have never seen by ourselves.
Wow. That's really lovely. It's a great technique, actually. I've never heard of something like this where you get to experience like both perspectives and kind of like, okay, so you're seeing it red, I'm seeing it blue. So how about we talk about why you're seeing it and how we can see the same angle. So this is really lovely. I love it. And also as a digital nomad, slow mad, as you say, you're more into an entrepreneurial journey where you are your own CEO. He's his own CEO. So sometimes you're like doing a lot of work, you're hustling, you're, becoming night owl. He's doing like morning stuff. So how do you find time to connect or to go and have fun? Because most of these people, like I meet, like entrepreneurs and stuff, they feel the guilt of jumping and having fun. And you guys are living the dream of like traveling, spending time with each other, fighting with each other, and then at the same time making money and living while traveling. So how does it, contribute to what you guys are doing?
Depend on our base experience and our background that affect.
Yeah.
So that's also one thing that we solve and we continue our way, because like you have no fun or you have no more energy for your work or your like project, because when you argue as a couple, like you are doing something, but in your background, still like you are like,
you're still arguing.
No, like like you are still saying the things you didn't say in that moment.
Yeah, in your mind. Yeah.
So first we need to solve that thing, and then second, so we focus on work. In Turkey, actually, when we settle down, we are not having like good combine about like spending time together, because I wake up morning, 7 a.m., I'm going out, she's working. In Turkish time, 5 p.m. with the Mexican company, it was like chaos. So now we are together, at least we do things together, physically in same place, but on same table. Sometimes I do like this, then I'm kissing her. Yeah. That's like freedom to do, like I'm not going physically somewhere, I'm not far. Yeah. So to feel far, also physically, is like really hard. But to be in this digital nomad lifestyle on same table, which is really comfortable for me, because we like physical touch. This is also like one way for us to show, because, I feel really good also for her. Yeah. That's like our love language, one of them. Yeah. So it's good for me to be out and same table, same room, same country. So I love that.
That's lovely. What about you, Laura? So I know like you worked from taxis from, different places, different locations. Let's not name all of them. But for you to kind of like just sit in a place, there is someone moving around you, which is new. You're not used to that. How was it?
I think it was about respecting each other's times. Okay. For example, when he's having a meeting, his meetings are same important as mine, kind of like understanding that if at some point he wants to wake up at 7 a.m. and start working, like I don't get mad. I just like, if I'm more tired, I can sleep extra hours. And later he will be doing his own stuff. Yeah. And I think he mentioned something really important, that it's like, do not undervalue or don't take for granted those small things, you know? Like when someone is having a meeting and then the other one just like pushes a glass of water, those kind of small details are super important. Yeah. That when, for example, as entrepreneurs, that we're having like a lot of things, like our day looks like so full, and then we have to be moving, and now we have this, and then we have that this. Yeah. Those small like minutes, or sometimes we say like 5 minutes clock, yes, so 5 minutes, like fully present, not like having it, because I'm also multitasking, so kind of like, if I'm listening, it's like, no, you need to be present.
Present with me. Yeah.
That's one of the things, like being present, and same time, like taking 5 minutes to hug, giving that small thing, the feeling when he's having a meeting and he just does the, oh, I start to, I feel it's just, it makes you even reinvent yourself and get creative about stuff that we might not be able to do. Yeah, because we're not sellers, but same time as remote workers, small things that we can be doing to each other.
From your culture, it's like bringing the moment and kind of like fixing it immediately. So I guess that Bekir had to jump into that as well and learn to fix the conflict immediately or at that spot.
Pressure, sorry.
I mean, we're still going through that, but I think sometimes just finding like also keywords. That is what. Yeah. Actually, the other week we met with also couples. That they're also traveling, they're also outside, and I feel that doing that, like the sense of community, is super important because it allows you to see like, oh wait, I'm not the only person in this problem or in this situation. So sometimes literally the question we love asking is like, what's your recommendation? Like if you have been together for this long, give us one tip. And one of them, they said like keywords. So for example, he sometimes has this piece of war, and with that it's like, okay, with that allow us to do stuff. And then suddenly it's like, wait, I understood that fully different than the concept that he had. So when he say war, when I say war, she was like doing something else, so it's kind of like, again, communicating. And there's certain stuff in which I will not say that we have everything fixed. Yeah. There's certain stuff that even it will take us time to learn because the cultures are fully different. Yeah. Like whole-blooded Latina, self-love, self-made women. So it's just like stronger or more like this than what he was accustomed to so far. So, yeah.
Yeah, I need to learn fix in the moment because for me, like, okay, you are angry, I am angry, so what to do? Let's calm down, like let's solve things inside your brain and then come with a solution, Yeah. So first times I was like going, but I was coming back with more problems. So she said like, okay, this is not best to do, so let's solve now. Yeah. So we find our way actually to do. So it's working really good. Yeah. So we do like solve in the moment, so we don't take like too long. As you said, I jump on her side because for me, I was like,
chilly.
She's like, you don't care. I was like, no, really. Like, it looked like that, but actually it's not. So that we get to know about ourselves because this is like lifetime something. So you don't know yourself, even how you will know the other person, like in that short time, like that story that's ongoing. So I know myself for now that today, but tomorrow, I don't know. After 1 month, I don't know who I will be. Yeah. We all wish that we want to be a good person and impact world like in a good way in our relationship, any position we are. So I know myself right now, but I don't know after 1 month, after a few days.
No. A fully different person.
Yeah, but I guess it's more how Laura described it. It was like you cannot be a square. You have to adapt to changes and you have to be flexible with everything. So I guess the way that she's flexible with all of, like your perspectives, that you kind of learn how to be also flexible toward her perspectives as well. And that creates like this beautiful energy between both of you where, like you get to, express it the way that you feel like it. So you don't have to change your Latina way to kind of like, okay, I'm just going to be in a Turkish mood and I'll be like crying and then waiting for him to chill and come and talk to me. But I'm just this person and I'm doing the best to change, but I want to communicate through that more. Is that true?
Yeah, I felt that even sometimes I will say that I'm not the same person that as I was. Yeah. Because same time, like being so like, oh, I'm Latina and I'm like this, it would be like, and really like hurt me. Yeah. And I feel also like breaking the stigmas we have about countries, it's super important. If I go and I hear other women that they have bad experiences with Turkish, because I don't know why, but Mexican women love Turkish. But even they were like super proud, like, no, she did it so hard.
It's really happening now.
Yeah.
Continue.
I think Mexicans, they don't have this beard, you know?
Yeah.
So they're like, wow. So I think it's about like the good mix and good point in which we both get to accept and same time let go what doesn't serve us anymore.
Yeah. So do you consider that actually meeting a lot of digital nomads affected your entrepreneurial journey, affected how you look at making money, affected how you want to, you know, do things differently and make money through different stuff? So, and, you know, for both of you, you do have like other jobs, other, you know, connections and other, you know, occupations as well, but you live a really cool lifestyle of like jumping between a country to another, regardless of like the challenges of like being rejected on a certain passport, whatever. But do you consider that actually something that actually affected your journey, or is it something that kind of like even slowed you down?
For me, it motivates me because whenever I see challenge, I'm like, okay, I need to work harder to like reach that point. That thing will not be a problem anymore. So which motivate me actually, because we were like checking passport and everything. I was like, wait, passport actually thing that you can buy, you know, like there is certain country that you buy house and then oops, they give you a passport. Like you know, that's like the place that we can reach, all of us, you know, you, me and people who ever watch this. So they can reach. If they have like not strong passport, they can reach because they can get with the money. But not mainly money. So we are like two different person. So I am like more in spiritual side, like I am more calm, and she's like more the organizer, and she's really planning good, and it helped our life really good. So two different things that work together really good. I'm learning from her a lot on that journey, and I guess she's taking something from me, which is like mixed together, because by myself I am in this lifestyle. Maybe it will not be best for me because I have my entrepreneur side, I own my company, and it was like settled down, you know, the physical company, but she has like completely different, you know.
Digital word.
Yeah. So the thing is like, I mean, mix really good together. So I'm happy to mix. Thank you.
And even for me, it also helped me so much because even when I was traveling, I was more in this mindset of I will always work for a company all the time, you know, like full-time job. Even when I was traveling around, I was like 9 to 5 and then focus only on that. And him being like the settler, but same time entrepreneur. And while we're traveling, meeting a lot of people, like there's really such weird stories about how people are making money outside, you know, like I'm selling this kind of stuff. And he's like, what do you mean? Like people would really buy that stuff?
Who buy that?
It's like,
people.
1,000 people per month. What else? It's like, you get to be like creative, you know, and that takes you out of the box. Really meeting people from many backgrounds, doing many stuff. It's like, wait, it's not the way that they have told me all the time. You know, like me, I was like the good one at school, always having best grade, getting rewarded, you know. I was like the perfect student. And at the same time, I was like so perfect for the capitalist world, like being an employee. And then now it's like, okay, let's be entrepreneur. Wow, like jumping into that was super hard. But I feel also how that can be from my own experience on being digital nomad, how I get to help other people to jump into this. And not because they want to all be digital nomad, but how you reach that freedom thanks to this kind of lifestyle and tips. So I think like both with him and being outside of the world, like meeting, and sometimes you don't have to be traveling, just like connecting with people with different backgrounds opens your mind. Like, what do you mean?
There's people, they has like crazy idea, like which, you know, for example, each country has their own dynamic. So in Asia, for example, my business was about water filter.
Okay.
So which I saw in another country, they have machine. So you brought your gallon and then you put in the machine. It refill water. But in Turkey, there is no. So actually one company start, but the thing is that whenever you move different places and different countries, you saw opportunity. And people doing there, we just like, wait, what if I get this one to put in another country and how it will work? So which is like bring ideas together, which give me like a lot different perspective. When I start move, I was like, first months, you can't imagine like how many things, look, if you do this, like, if you mix with that, like, oh, no way. You know, like, I was like,
Kind of like learning about different things. Yeah.
so it helped me a lot too, because it's all about the imagination. If you can imagine one thing, that it's possible for you, because it's all about imagination. If you can imagine one thing, it's about recipe. If you know recipe that you can make that food, it's about imagination. If you see that thing is possible, you can do.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, like, for example, we are not like Tesla, because that kind of people, they do from nothing.
Yeah.
You know, that thing was not exist, they did.
Yeah.
But for us, you know, as a normal person, I hope like the people who watch us, they are genius. They find things from like nothing.
Yeah.
Because there is people who help our life become easy. But I'm talking like average people that you saw that example in another country. You just take idea, you know, you just mix with few different things and it's become something else.
True.
So which is allow me in this lifestyle. I literally see in Asia, like specifically, people are really practice, like everything happen like that, you know, like they do find way to make it, you know, like, no, it's not possible. Come to Chiang Mai, baby. You know, come to Asia, like they will show you how it's possible, you know, like that thing is like with different culture, with different background, people doing possible. So which now give me a lot different perspective. So I will not be same person when I go my country or when you go Mexico, because there will be a lot different things. I was like, okay, I can mix this with this, with this, with this. So actually now I'm thinking to open my agency because I see many different things, like it's possible
to do.
The thing is, you need to believe that it's possible.
Yeah.
Whenever you believe, the thing is start there like, okay, it's possible. What can I do to do that in the way that possible? You know, first, like in my side, this things improve that I see it possible. Yeah. So now on my side, my entrepreneur side, because I live that entrepreneur side in like physical life. Yeah. But now I get back in digital life because it was like time to get ready for me. It's like really hard from settle down lifestyle because I need to rent place, like, you know, like it needs to have wall, like, you know, like bathroom, like salon. But in the digital life, wait, you know, now, now it's happened like match. So I can rent any place online and I can do like many things online. Now actually a few days I will jump on agency that in Turkey. That's so which maybe will be in the world later, but
well, that's really lovely, and congratulations for like taking all of these kind of like small moments and including them into that process. So now you do have an idea about the digital world that Laura is, you know, living at, and you get to see like why she's always on speed, because she sees a lot of things and she kind of like feel like, okay, this is a creative idea, I gotta just put it on my map. Later on, she will know whether she's going to continue on that or not, but it's like a lot of ideas come in and rush in. So I'm happy that you kind of like have each other to share those kind of moments and to share those ideas and to build each other. This is really, really lovely. And I enjoyed like the conversation in general that you guys are putting in, the energy, the vibes here. It's like just giving. So, you know, I always like to finish my podcast with like tips, but for you, I just want to end it with like a tip, but not a tip like a motto that, you know, like led to this life, whether before meeting Bekir or after it. So how about you start and then I will jump into Bekir.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having us here. We really enjoy this so much as well. That's one of the things that we like about the lifestyle. That we meet people that probably in one place we would haven't met. And I think that one of the things is you just need to allow yourself to change. Like the tip is you can be, and I think it's maybe I'm doing what you asked me not to do, like the motto.
So do not do like a full tip. Like you can, feel free to do whatever you feel, but I just want to have like your life motto. It's like, what is driving you every day? Okay. Like a word or a sentence that is like stuck inside your brain that, even if it's in Spanish, feel free to do so.
But I think I would say that they're both. There are two.
Okay.
One is you can be a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously.
Yeah.
It means that you are already enough and good and fair with what you are already, but that doesn't mean that you cannot be working on yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
And I feel that it's always like that. It's never enough, but at the same time you need to accept and feel proud of what you are already.
Yeah.
And the other one is just travel and live consciously like a local, but always through the eyes of a tourist, you know? So you're always time amazed by stuff, but doing things responsible and making an impact, like if you're going to live there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's lovely. That's lovely. I love it. What about you, Bekir?
Thank you for having us. For me, everything possible.
Yeah.
Because to learn one thing is you need 500 hours to do that thing good. So I was like, okay, my first hour, second hour, third hour, fifth hour is really hard, but it will be possible after 10 hour, 20 hour. So because I'm in my learning curve, so which I'm learning a lot thing, but it takes time.
Yeah.
I was like almost giving up. I was like, no, wait. No, that's too much.
Yeah.
But whenever I see that is like, it's happening, that all I can say, just, like see it possible. So if you see it possible, that in few hours you see impact and you do things is different. I had no idea about video editing. Now I am editing video for other company.
Yeah.
So which is allow me to accept that, okay, I don't know, but I will learn.
Yeah.
So the thing is that just open to learn. For me, maybe to give tip, just open to learn and see it possible. Yes, I can. And what can I do to do possible?
Yeah.
That's my tip.
I love it. I love it. Thank you guys for joining me today. I had fun learning more about your backgrounds and everything that you guys are doing. So without any further ado, thank you guys for watching today's video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comments, and share with your friends, especially those who are like jumping between like, oh, I want to become a digital nomad. No, I don't want. Here are like the examples that I have here with me where they actually live the moment and they actually put a lot of efforts toward like growing each other. And you get to see like, it's not just, a whim journey where, everything is booming there. It's a process journey. It's a journey where you get to deal with your thoughts, with your negative thoughts, where you get to see like, oh, this thought is actually something that did not serve my purpose. So yeah, live on your purpose and stay tuned for the upcoming episode. Bye-bye.